Hello, this is Coach from DFS Coach Talk. Real quickly before you watch the podcast, I want to mention a couple quick things. We really appreciate you tuning in. We have a special offering here at DFS Coach Talk that is different than any other DFS provider in the industry, and that's why we're the fastest growing. We build everything by hand. We have a group of pros that put in hours and hours every day preparing winning lineups for you in the NBA, NFL, PGA, and Major League Baseball. And we're also doing bonus coverage right now of KBO until sports come back. So join now, get a free month this whole month. The memberships don't start until July 30th. So enjoy that, make some money, build some bankroll. Definitely engage with us on all social media. Enjoy the podcast, and let's take down some money and just crush it.
Summer is here, and sports are finally back, which can only mean one thing. It's time to kick back, relax, and make some cash. Everyone has to start somewhere, which is why you want to get off on the right foot by choosing an established book like mybookie.ag. And with all the major sports seasons just around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Dynamic betting lines and a simple-to-use platform make the process easier than it's ever been. Create your account in just a few easy steps, deposit, and begin placing your bets. Sign up now using promo code COACHTALK to get your deposit matched halfway, all the way up to $1,000, plus $25 extra free play. That's promo code COACHTALK. Use it to score yourself an extra piece of the pie. With MyBookie, you bet, you win, and most importantly, when you win, you get paid.
Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, my partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Hansen. How are you today, Andrew?
I'm doing well, Coach. We just had a downpour here, reminiscent of South Korea recently. Some more rain in the forecast today. We should get at least 3 of the 5 games in tonight, maybe even all 5. So that's something to be excited about.
It has been a roller coaster the last 2 or 3 nights with all of these rain problems and issues and questions. And then the other night, we had this killer two-game lineup set we were both sitting on as a 5-star, and they slowly canceled the first 3, and then those 2 are sitting there, we're like, oh my God, boxcars. And boom, then those 2 lost. We lost those 2 as well. So we're geared up. I mean, we've been preparing. This is a great slate tonight. And I think we're going to come up with a combination of guys for DraftKings and FanDuel. And even if you want to replicate some of them on Fantasy Draft and Yahoo, you can do the same there. I've been messing around with a few things on there with golf. And as the main sports with baseball and basketball getting closer, I want to keep an eye on those. And, our goal is to supply the best player pools and players for whatever level you're playing and whatever site you're playing. So I think we can do that pretty darn well. Today, by the way, is July 13th. It's a Monday. Here in Dallas, it's about 103, so it is smoking outside here. But that's what you expect in Texas in July and August. That just comes with the territory. But we do have some huge news that transpired over the weekend that I know Andrew and I are both extremely excited about. And it's the kind of quality and the kind of level of just professionalism and just outstanding work that we're going to be very, very diligent in making sure that only people at this highest level become involved with DFS Coach Talk to just catapult us even to another level. So I'll let you talk about them a little bit, Andrew, since you're really responsible for finding them and getting this deal done. So great job on your behalf, and I couldn't be more excited to have him joining the family.
Yes, and of course that's Freddie Mills, the one and only Freddie Mills 7 on Twitter. We're so excited to have him as a partner at DFS Coach Talk. He's going to be providing his in-depth KBO articles to us for publication on our website, and they are terrific. I mean, when I say in-depth, I mean in-depth. He breaks down every game on the slate, looks at the pitching matchups, home and road stats, DFS targets, and he also adds in some betting tips, not just full game, but first five, over under, all kinds of great stuff. He's I mean, I look at him as a colleague of ours in terms of how much time and dedication he's put into the KBO analysis. He watches all the games, and so it's just a great content, great insight. And you can see his first article on our website today under Major League Baseball coverage. So go check it out, dfscoachtalk.com. In the Major League Baseball section, you'll see that article, and I don't think you'll be disappointed.
He's awesome. And welcome, Freddie. It's great to have you. Hopefully you're listening. And, we've got only 11 days of KBO action left before we swing over to MLB. So take advantage of these, less than 2 weeks now of not only, everything we're, as we normally do, are putting into it, but having Freddie as well. And hopefully we can get some other projects going for him, because I think you'll see the content that he brings to the table, like Andrew said, is just, first class. So we're excited. We want to thank our sponsors real quick before we get started here. Of course, mybookie.ag, which also with Freddie's info is going to be a great lead in for some of those wagers on mybookie.ag too. So, we also not only want to provide all the DFS needs, but we're going to brush over some good betting spots and some different things like that. Because, the majority, I think the last I saw, 71% of people that play DFS also bet on games. So there's definitely a crossover there. MyBookie.ag is the place to go for all of your sports wagering and casino action. Go to MyBookie.ag, use the promo code CoachTalk, and you get an exclusive 50% match on your deposit, all the way up to $1,000. And you also get a $25 free play. I can't say my L's today. They're jumping off the screen. The free play is for the listeners of this show. Just DFS Coach Talks, the promo code. And also TVG. There's a couple of great races this weekend on Saturday with the Bluegrass. Big upset there of the horse I was looking to pick for the Derby. Finished second, but you can go to dfscoachtalk.com, click on the banner ad that shows TVG risk-free bet $300, and that's exactly what it is. So if you sign up, use that Coach Talk in there for sure for the promo code, and you'll get that $300 back in your account if you lose it on your first bet at TVG. So it's a great offer there. You can follow us on Twitter throughout the day for any changes or posts or anything we're doing there. We're at DFS Coach Talk, and I am at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. Andrew is at Language Olympic, and our man Shane is at DET Sports Shane. If you're watching us right now on YouTube, right below here, give us a like and subscribe. The great thing with subscribing right there is you'll get a notification when we post a new podcast. So, all right, man, it's time to dive into this slate. We both love it. We were going to try to keep a little more of it reaction when we get on here, but we ended up chatting a lot about it beforehand because we're both so fired up. So we're gonna break this down as usual. We'll give you the most recent odds on MyBookie as well, and get yourself all set for an early afternoon posting so you can listen to this throughout the day and get everything set. And then follow us in Discord, because when there's weather issues, you got to jump in Discord. You got to commit to it. Even if you get up just to adjust or confirm your lineup and then go back to bed, it's such an edge, and we've been crushing it doing that all season. Okay, the first game is the Hanwha Eagles, 16-43, at the KT Wiz, 29-29. Warwick Saupold is the pitcher for Hanwha, 5-6 with a 4.19 ERA, and our man Mr. Despagne. We always debate the how to say it, but regardless of how you say it, I love this guy. I think he's a strikeout monster. He's 5-4 with a 4.32 ERA, and he's at home, and he gets to pitch against Hanwha. I'm not tipping my hand that I like him tonight, am I?
No, just a little bit.
The first game on the board, that, as I said, and I think he should be, the KT Wiz are minus 232, which just happens to be the biggest favorite on the board. And the over-under in that game is 8.5. And I know my play is going to be run line KT Wiz there, only minus 111. So I think that's very fair, and I can see them winning by 3-4 runs here pretty comfortably. So give us the lowdown and let us know how we make the money on this game.
Well, I'll be backing Despaigne, as I think you probably will as well. Big strikeout guy, big favorite. And he wasn't great against Hanwha the first time. He gave up a home run, but that was to K Song, who's out with a shoulder injury. So should have a little bit of an easier trip through the lineup. Good price on DraftKings, only 8,100. And as for the other matchup, Saupold has only given up one home run to lefties this year. And guess who that was? It was Mel Rojas Jr.
Of course.
So I'll have some exposure to him. He is expensive. Yang Ho Joe, if he's batting at the top of the lineup as a lefty, is a nice value. Don't plan to get a ton of hitters from this game, though, on the KT Wiz side. I like some of the stacks later on in the slate.
I'm with you, man. This game's super easy to me. I respect Saupold enough that I don't want to stack guys. He does a great job keeping the ball down against lefties big time. He really does. So Rojas is just too expensive for me in that scenario, even though we got him last time. And, so I'm just Despaigne and move on because we got some stacks, I think, that are sharp coming up.
Yes, we do.
All right, game 2. Kia Tigers 31-25 with Minwoo Lee, and the Samsung Lions with David Buchanan 7-3 with a 3.85 ERA. And we have the MyBookie.ag updated odds. Samsung is a 161 home favorite, and over-under in that game is 9.5. So, is this one of your key stack games?
Well, maybe a mini stack.
Okay.
We've talked here for a couple days as we've been waiting for David Buchanan to pitch that lefties have really gotten him. They've hit 8 home runs against him. Wow. And if you look at Tucker, he was all over him when they met up before. He had a single, a double, and a homer, 3 for 3. Yeah. So he's at 6,000. I like him on DraftKings, a little bit better than Rojas, as we just talked about his high price. So Tucker's in a great spot here. You could look at MU. He got on base a couple times against Buchanan. He's only 3,500 as a first baseman on DraftKings. And then on the flip side, I may get some exposure to a couple Samsung bats here if I make multiple lineups. Lefties are hitting 294 against Minwoo Lee. 4 of his last 5 outings have been poor. So you could look at Hyman Park at 2,900 if he's hitting at the top of the order. Hak-Ju Lee, a little bit more expensive as a shortstop. Song Gon Lee, another inexpensive outfielder at 2,800. So I may get a one-off here and there with one of those lefties.
All right. This is a simple game for me. I love your take there, though. I really do. I just think it's odd because my best play of the day happens to be a one-off, and usually my best play of the day is part of a mini stack or a full stack. I just think you gotta play Tucker today. His batter BVP and all that, and people don't sometimes like small sample sizes, but the bottom line is Tucker is one of the best players in the league. This is a solid matchup for him. I don't think they'll pitch around him with the other good Kia bats. So this is not a stack game for me, and I'm just going to, this entire game, just one-off Tucker and move down the road.
I like it.
A little bit different strategy for me, but I think it's a smart one. All right, we go to game 3. This one obviously is going to get a lot of juice as far as play and interest. It's also, unfortunately, the highest potential rain game right now at 34% rain. So we got to really cross our fingers on this one. That's the LG Twins, 30-27, Lotte Giants, 27-29. You got Casey Kelly with a 4-3 record, 4.86 ERA, and my man Dan Straley, 2-2 with a 2.30 ERA. And our men at mybookie.ag have my man, Mr. Straley, minus 188, 9.5 over under, and you actually get a plus 106 on the run line. So there could be, Coach could be dabbling in a little bit of mybookie.ag tonight for sure. What do you think, man?
I like Straley here. He was excellent against LG the first time out. Only 2 hits in 7 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts. The only caveat there is that Mr. Ramos did not play that game. So obviously much tougher assignment for Straley. But I do like him here on this slate. And then I'm actually open to some of these Lotte bats. And I think you are as well, because last time they faced Casey Kelly, Kelly gave up 11 hits to them in 6 innings.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I pick on Kelly as it is. I think he's overrated for the people that do play him. He hasn't been consistent at all. And I really like the Lotte bats tonight. I think you've got a really sweet stack there that's not off the charts expensive either. I mean, it's not dirt cheap, but you can get away with it as you build some of your other guys. But certainly, again, I didn't play him the last 2 nights, but when I play my man, Osiopson, I say it every time. It's like the 10th time, and I always knock on wood because when I play him, he comes through. So I think he's a really solid play tonight. And I think you can go up and down those first 5 or 6 guys in their order, even though they're righties. Kelly's been giving up a lot of hard contact to righties. I think you can certainly look at Gian because his price is good. Daeho Lee could go deep at any point. And then you have Dong Hee Han, who's a good price as well. I wouldn't count out Hoon Jung leading off. So I'm going to mini stack at 2 or 3 guys. Osiopson being one of them for sure. But what are you looking at stack wise there?
Yeah, I like 2, 3, 4 especially. Osiopson, Jay Gian, Daeho Lee. He did go deep against Kelly in that first matchup, and they're all under 4,000 on DraftKings. It's something we've monitored here for a while. You've been all over the Lotte stacks, and the great thing about it is when you go that route, it's very affordable, and then you can pay up for other guys like Tucker.
Yeah, I just believe on both sites that Lotte's bats have been underappreciated in the salaries. I know they're 2 games under 500, but it's not because of their hitting generally, it's because of their pitching. But Straley, even Straley, he's pitched like a maniac, and he's only 2-2. So right. The bullpen's blown some games for him, etc. So, don't let that record scare you from stacking Giants because they can hit the ball. I think I posted a whole bunch of Go Giants things the other day, so I'm still on them. I'll have to put some of those in the main chat on Discord as well. I found some cool Go Giants stuff. So, all right, excellent. You ready for Game 4?
Yes, sir.
This is the Dome game, so we know this game's playing. So all we got to do is get 1 or 2. The other ones will be all set. But the Dome game is the NC Dinos 39-17 at the Kiwoom Heroes 35-25. You have Jay Hawk Lee 3-4 with a 5.61, and Jake Brigham 0-1 with a 5.0 ERA. And our my bookie has Kiwoom minus 128. So Dinos aren't often a dog, but they are here. And this is tied for the highest scoring game on as far as Vegas. It's over 10.5, and not only is it over 10.5, but it looks like it might go to 11 because the 10.5 is minus 131. So they're expecting some games or some runs in this game for sure. So give us the breakdown.
Well, I'm especially looking at Kiwoom here to manufacture some of the runs. KCO I like at the top of the order. I like Jung Ho Lee. Lefties are hitting 300 against Jay Hawk Lee with 3 homers. So those are two of the key guys. We'll see where the inexpensive H. Kim is batting, the lefty, for 3,600.
Okay.
The more expensive H. Kim, 5,600, went deep twice yesterday. So may get a little exposure to him to see if he can keep rolling. He's excellent against righties, so don't worry about that. Maybe a little bit of exposure to the Dinos bats.
Okay.
Brigham hasn't pitched since May 22nd with an elbow issue. So that's a tough way to start up here, as lefties have hit 313 against him, and he's got to deal with the likes of Minwoo Park. H. Kwan is a nice price for the Dinos at 2,800. We'll see if he's batting second. That's another way to afford a guy like Tucker. And I should just say here, Coach, that you mentioned how this is the dome game, and we follow the weather. It's one of the great reasons to be a member. So while you're checking out the Freddie Mills article today on our website, look into the membership options. If you pick up a monthly membership right now, that'll take you all the way through the end of August. We're giving bonus content and exposure on our website from now until July 30th, and then your month membership will start up. But the reason it's valuable to be a member is because then you get into our Discord in the middle of the night, half hour before lock. That's when we're in there updating what games are going to play, what games are rained out. And we have multiple lineups and player pools prepared for the different scenarios of if it's going to be a 2-game slate or a 5-game slate. And we've been all over that for our members. Last night, our cash lineup on FanDuel based on that 2-game slate paid off. Our DraftKings player pool was excellent. The winners were in there. We had a member come in second in a nice tournament. So just want to mention that we know that this is going to be one of the games played because it's in the Dome. But we do hope you'll join us as a member so we can give you that final FanDuel lineup and the DraftKings player pool right before lock.
Excellent. For me, this game is my second stack team. I really like Kiwoom in this game. I think that, Jae-Hawk Lee has not been super effective. Lefties are definitely smashing them. And I'm planning at least a 3-man Kiwoom. I'm going to go with Seo at leading off. He's been super steady. As you know, my favorite player in the league, Jung-Ho Lee. And then I think B. Park goes deep tonight. I can see him. He's my home run call of the day.
Okay.
So I'm going to be stacking top of that lineup, 1, 3, 4, or maybe even 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 4, 5, depending on pricing. So I feel good about them playing at home in this game. I don't think Brigham's a good pitcher, so I have no problem one-offing one of the guys on the Dinos side. I wish with this lineup I could afford Yang because I do think he's starting to heat up again, but his price is still a monster. So with some of the players I've mentioned, it's not going to be feasible for me to roster him. But, I would not blame you if you did have the cash to put him or Altier in there. I mean, Altier's been as good as anybody the last month. I mean, and he'll steal and hit homers. He'll do the whole thing. So possible one-off for the Dinos if I can afford it. And Kiwoom is my favorite stack today.
Excellent.
All right, game 5, man. And we wrap it up. We're just going through this because we know what we want and we're ready. I can smell a high star rating for this slate coming as long as they play. All right, we've got the final game, SK Wyverns at 18-41 with Jeon-Wook Lee. He's 3-2 with a 2.99. He's sort of their ace pitcher for that team. And the Doosan Bears with Young-Ha Lee. He is 3-4 with a 5.83, and Doosan is 10 games over 500 at 34-24. My bookie's got that game as the Doosan Bears as the second highest favorite on the board, minus 196, and it's the highest runs at 10.5 on the board. So based on Vegas, it looks like they're thinking your Bears are about to step up and get it done. So I'm still a little hesitant from the sting the other night, but I can see why you'd want to play Doosan here. What do you think?
Well, they are facing a righty, so you start to get excited when you see that matchup. But John Wook Lee was excellent against Doosan earlier in the season, 5 1/3, only 3 hits, only 1 earned run.
He's been good He's been good a lot this year.
Yeah.
He really has. He's had a lot of great outings.
Yeah, 2 of the last 3 quality starts, ERA under 3 for the season. In that first matchup, J-Il-O did not play, but all the other big guys were there. They didn't do anything. So no. I'm going to shy away from this matchup, give him that respect. We do like some stacks here earlier, as we've described, so don't really need to go there. Now, as for the flip side, I may get a little exposure to SK. Young Ha Lee with an ERA of almost 6. 4 of his last 5 outings have been bad.
Yeah.
Including giving up 4 runs to SK and 8 hits in 5 1/3. Jong Cha took him deep. You could go there. And then the guy we got to mention back in the lineup, Dong Min Han.
Yeah.
Outfielder on the season, he's batting .317 with 6 homers and 12 RBI in only 60 at-bats. So there's a guy that hopefully will be a little bit under the radar as he's coming back into the lineup, and I'll have some exposure to him.
And don't be surprised if you don't see him moved up when the final lineups come out, because I think he's possibly their best hitter. I mean, Jay Cha's been solid this year. Romax held his own, but I'd put Han right in there as one of their top 3 hitters for sure. And he started off terrific, and I think people are going to forget what he was capable of. So may want to wait a game just to see, but if he gets moved up even one spot to the 5 hole, they have him in the 6th spot initially here. But if he's batting 4th or 5th, if they move everybody up a little bit, I think you got to give him a look, because before he hits a homer and then everybody all of a sudden he's 40% owned. It's nice to get a guy when he jumps back in. So I'm going to be watching that very closely. I don't know how young Ha Lee stays in the rotation for Doosan. He's consistently just been worse. So he's about ready to lose his spot. If I wouldn't, be surprised one more bad outing, he may be in the bullpen. But, I'm with you. It's weird because I like the SK side better than the Doosan side, even though Doosan's a monster favorite. And I do respect John Wook Lee as well. So we're on the same thought wave there. I think you'll get a lot of people that always stack Doosan, and they're going to see that Doosan's playing SK, and you're going to get quite a bit of ownership for Doosan. So this could be a good differentiator game with a 1 or 2 off from the SK side and a complete fade of the Doosan side.
I like it.
Makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right. Couple things before we wrap up. Again, we're here on the 13th. If you sign up today, the clock does not start ticking on your membership until the 30th. So we still have 2.5 weeks basically of free membership time that we're wanting to build in there for everybody on the KBO and PGA side. We also have MLB that'll be sneaking in there as well. So you'll get all that content, all Freddie's KBO stuff, our lineups, our builds, all of that is taking place free. So dive in there, even if you sign up for a week, feel us out, take a look at this. All of these 30 minutes before lock, we're in there in our Discord, confirming lineups, confirming weather, locking stuff down. So take advantage of that for sure. You can check us out again on YouTube, DFS Coach Talk. We also have a great library of podcasts there that you can check out for MLB and NBA. Instagram, we're DFS_Coach Talk. Our website, of course, is dfscoachtalk.com. And follow us all day at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. Check out Freddie's stuff. It's posted there. All of our news throughout the day, weather updates, all of that kind of stuff will be taking place. Also, our charity of choice here at DFS Coach Talk is mambaon3.org. It's all spelled out, MAMBAONTHREE.org. Terrific charity set up by the Bryant family. So support them if you can. That is it, man. We'll be back tomorrow for another KBO show. And then Wednesday's our doubleheader day with KBO and PGA. So, again, with the weather and some of these lineup changes, stick with us throughout the day. I'm going to say it's just super quick, but I'll start preaching it when the NBA's back, especially 3-step program. We're going to start releasing these podcasts earlier, like we're doing today. So step one is listen to the podcast, take some mental notes if you're listening at work or whatever you're doing, or if you can jot a few things down, or put your initial lineup in, because I do think you should go in, reserve the spots, especially when the major sports comes back, because they're expecting an onslaught of fantasy players, just DFS players diving in there. So, get a lineup in there, to holder lineup, and you can put some of the guys we're talking about in there. And then the second part is just following us throughout the day on DFS Coach Talk, or jumping in as a member and getting in our Discord, because we'll be talking and chatting and strategizing, our pros and our members. We have a great community in there. And then the third piece is the discipline of just making sure 30 to 40 minutes before lock, you're in our Discord with us. We're giving out full FanDuel lineups, really sharp DK player pools, and then we'll talk about pivots on there and make sure that everybody has the absolute best lineup they can possibly put out. So that is the plan, sir. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well said, my friend. Hope everybody has a great Monday.
Let's crush it tonight. We'll definitely see you on Twitter and in the Discord, and that'll wrap it up. So for our whole team here at DFS Coach Talk, for our buddy Sugar Shane Caldwell and my man Andrew Hansen, I am Coach. We'll look to catch you again tomorrow when we crush it in DFS.